Moving right along, when does it make sense to use surfaces over regular modeling? Oh, this is awesome. Uh, yes, is there an ideal for one
This is
or the other?
made for Joseph. This point.
I can certainly pull up a good example. Does anybody have any comments as I pull up a new model here?
Oh, please go ahead. I think. Well, actually, can I just say we had a great example in the first live stream where
Yes.
we turned the model into a surface, did a thin extrude, projected that thin extrude to get parametric sketch offsets. So that's a good use of it. But I'm sure Joseph has like 1,000 different uses for it. I'm just sure he does.
Yeah, Costas knows exactly what a fan of surfacing I am. Uh, I would say if you can model and get the job done using solid geometry, do that. It is going to be a lot more simple, a lot more straightforward. And if someone else wants to go through the model, it'll be simpler for them. And it's probably less computation depending on what you're doing. So prioritize solid geometry. But if you have something where solid modeling is not getting it done, surfacing is a great solution. And here's an example of that. I have a feature and I want to say project downward, and I'm going let's say that I want to CNC this part, right? So I select this sketch and I project to take some material away. Let's say that I want to go half an inch down. Well, if we're going to CNC that, those walls have a lot of overhangs, and that's just not going to work well. And I went too far down and broke through the bottom there, but that's not good intent. We want our walls to be vertical, right? And what's the solid modeling solution? Well, it would be an extrude cut, but if we need this face to follow the same curvature as this face, it gets hairy with extruding, right? There's not really a straightforward solid modeling way to do that. So there's I think a few ways that we could approach this with surfacing, and surfacing just augments our ability to do things like that. So maybe if I were to go with the surfacing solution, I'll extrude this to 1 inch, and then maybe we want to make this floating body a surface. So I'll grab a surface here and delete this top face. So for my surface workbench, I delete the top face, and now I have these infinitely thin references of the outside of this thing. And but before I do that, let me say select these faces here and then create a surface from a face. There we go. And I can move my surfaces upward. You can see that surfacing does break down into a lot of steps. And this is one reason why we may want to default towards solid modeling whenever possible. Let's move that in maybe less than 1 inch, maybe 0.5 upwards. No, 0.75. So we get what we want. There we go. And then I'm going to modify my sketch. As you can tell, I maybe didn't have this set up for demoing yet. So make that not that. No. Okay, that should do it. So we've got the surface, right? And then we can cut out the bottom of this so that the curvature of this face matches. So we're going to say surface, trim model. We select our surface, and then we just trim out the bottom of that, right? Now you can either hide or delete face. There's schools of thought that are great for both. I tend to delete face to get rid of my surfaces when I'm done with using them, but now we can take that back to a surface, move that downward. We can tell this is just a lot of workflow for surfacing that might be able to be done in one operation with solid modeling. So we'll move that down 1 inch. Once again, trim model. I promise I'm almost done. And then if I go to hide my surface down here, what do you know? We have those vertical walls that are a lot more manufacturing friendly, right? So surfacing, we can overcome those difficult specific problems by generating surfaces that do what we need. So that's probably the case to use surfaces over regular modeling, but default to regular modeling whenever possible. Let me know if that answers your question, and thank you for asking.